Podcast excellence since 2005. This is the King of Podcasts Radio Network, kingofpodcasts.com.
There is your main event for WrestleMania. John Cena.
Woo! Hey, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And believe it or not, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it. Because you have to listen to Wrestling is Real. It is the best thing going today. Woo!
The worldwide leader of podcasting excellence. The King of Podcasts Radio Network proudly presents The Wrestling is Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.
This is episode 911 of the Wrestling is Real podcast. We're recapping Elimination Chamber tonight. Yes, so John Cena has made the heel turn. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't think that out of the career of John Cena, I mean, he's at least been 20 years as a babyface. Make-A-Wish Foundation, the big box office action star. And now we see him go corporate. We see him, the devil, the final boss, The Rock, was able to go ahead and turn John Cena into his minion. It almost as if The Rock turned on a switch when he directed John Cena with a simulated throat slit. You know, not exactly, but more or less. And John Cena complied. And Cody Rhodes, for the second night in a row, he gets beat up and destroyed. Now, nobody even talked about the fact that Solo Sikoa beat up on Cody Rhodes the night before. And so tonight, we get another beat up on Cody Rhodes. But this is where Cody Rhodes confronted The Rock about possibly selling his soul. Most important thing to remember about that is that Cody Rhodes says, "Go F yourself." That got a big pop from the crowd when he actually had the F-bomb and nailed the note on it. And so I didn't know what The Rock was going to do as the punishment for Cody Rhodes. We figured it was going to happen. The dream was going to die. Now it is. It's a pretty dark storyline we're going on here. And there's a lot of storylines you could go ahead and build off of it. We know that the whole Hollywood component goes on with this, first of all. But then there's also the part where's the TKO setup for all this? Like, that's the other part we don't even know about here, but we can all go ahead and speculate that right now. But with John Cena, of course we're going to have the juvenile delusional fan base out there that are going to try to compare this heel turn to Hulk Hogan joining the New World Order July 1996 at Bash at the Beach. I know that's what they're going to go with. Now, there's a reason for where Hulk Hogan decided to become the third man. His career was starting to go on the tailspin because he had gotten a resurgence joining WCW, but then about 2 years into his run, he was starting to grow old once again, like he was in 1990 in WWF. So you get him here, and then Hulk Hogan, they make the change, does the deed to Randy Savage, everything changes, the New World Order of professional wrestling. So what they're doing right now here is this. And look, if you wanted to do something where we move forward from the bloodline, The Rock here could do a number of things. And we can actually have a new corporation, which is what I think is actually going to be building off of all this here. Because then what we do here with Rock and Cena, okay, is set up in that. Roman Reigns has not been anywhere involved in anything right now. And I don't know what they're going to be doing with him, but I can totally imagine The Rock here as basically the devil, the final boss here, could then wield his power on Roman Reigns. And I think that would be an interesting move. Will Roman Reigns also turn? And then we can also figure out who else will turn. Because if The Rock's going to go ahead and then become this new boss that can just take somebody's soul, we need to kind of build more into that. Okay, taking your soul, a deal with the devil. If The Rock is turning into the devil himself, the devil incarnate himself in some way, shape, or form with his power, okay, we can go with that. A diabolical Rock. All right, I can go with that. But we need to build off of that. Now, they did a promo, a big thing where Rock was being presented as, the TKO board of directors. And then you see Ari Emanuel, then you see others. And the whole power of what TKO with WWE has become. And they created that. But I think that was during a commercial break. I don't even think that was put on for all the Peacock audience or for those watching on Netflix or wherever they were watching. Might not have seen it. But they decided to put that out. It looked really good. And then everything else just kind of took a center off of that. So if you didn't have this storyline here, I'm sure a lot of people would have been really upset to see John Cena take on Cody Rhodes for the title and just say, oh, it's the retirement angle. It's title versus career. And build it like that's just some traditional kind of feel to it. People would have just shit on it. This juvenile delusional crowd would have shit on it. This right here, they're going to buy. Because now John Cena becomes the heel going into this, where we thought Cody Rhodes was going to turn heel because it was these little nuances, this little feeling that he was going to, but he didn't. And so now Cody Rhodes has to face his biggest adversary in the corporation here. This new 2025 corporation, which is these Hollywood box office types. So you got to ask yourself, what do you do next off of this? I mean, for the sake of the company, we just can't have Rock and Cena be together as part of this. They need to have a third or fourth man. We don't need to go bigger than that. Now, the other thing they could also say is like, will CM Punk be brought into this? Because we don't know what that's going to be either. Like, is he going to have his favor cashed in? Like, what are we going to do here? I don't know. But The Rock has come into this, nothing attached to the bloodline whatsoever. They just decided not to even be a part of that. Ever since the Netflix debut, they just decided not even go ahead and attach Rock to the bloodline. Nothing about that. The Rock is just stand alone. And the bloodline stuff, it's like not even his issue now. The bloodline, not even a concern right now. It's an afterthought. Which is fine, but it's like, where are we moving on with those folks? Okay. When people were talking about the fact that, all right, Jacob Fatu, he should go after the U.S. title. No. U.S. title is way underneath Jacob Fatu. I would prefer Jacob Fatu to go up against the world title. I would have preferred him in the Elimination Chamber up against Cody Rhodes, personally. And then it would be the bloodline, the newest member of the bloodline, this new savage, the Samoan werewolf. And you build up the bloodline once again. Okay, so Solo can't do the job. He couldn't do it. And we couldn't avenge Roman Reigns. And then the power struggle between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. Build off of that. I would have liked that. Continue the bloodline storyline if you're going to keep doing it, but they don't. They've kind of just let it fizzle. It is nothing right now. Ever since the bloodline at Survivor Series, they've done nothing with it. They've kind of just left it alone. So Jimmy's doing on his own thing. Jay's doing his own thing. Roman Reigns has been completely out of the picture. And we're coming up to WrestleMania. We're not even going to have Roman Reigns? I don't know about that. We don't have a match for Jacob Fatu coming up yet. We need that too. But this deal right here, they're going to go to a new major main event angle. Which, by the way, we're talking about the old guard. As I said before, we're not getting these younger stars. All you people here of a juvenile delusional fan base that thought we're going to get some other young stars working their way up into the WrestleMania cart. No. Ceiling. A lot of older stars now taking their spot up the top, right? Logan Paul, oh no, he's taking a little bit of a back seat. But it looks like he's going to take on CM Punk, it looks like. So, because Logan Paul went ahead and was limited by CM Punk, right? There's that. I don't know what Drew McIntyre goes into and what he adds into the mix, but, whatever. Seth Rollins, we don't know where his real intent's going to be and where he's going to be doing coming up. We don't know that yet either. There's a lot of matches that have to get built up. We know that Kevin Owens pummeled Sami Zayn for the 90th time. I didn't care about that match. Did they have a good match? Yeah. Unsanctioned? Sure. Okay. But I don't care anymore. You just can't give me Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens over and over and over again and make me care about it this time. They did nothing to make me care about it overall. Oh, and Sami Zayn, we're going to get his revenge back. And look, he gets beat down again. Oh, wow. Okay, great. The same thing over and over. But if you wanted some mainstream press, you got it. John Cena turns bad. And we didn't expect this to happen at all. No one even thought about it because, I mean, if you want to just do it just to do it, you throw away 20 years of his career as a babyface. And this is in comparison, seeing a star football player that won all these Super Bowl rings. Okay, think Johnny Unitas, think Joe Montana going to Kansas City. Johnny Unitas going to, who was it? The Jets, I think. I forget where he went. No, the Rams, wasn't it? I forget where he left for the Colts. But he went to another team, fizzled out. You look at Aaron Rodgers right now going to the Jets, fizzled out. Brett Favre going to another team, kind of fizzled out. Like, it's just, when you're an all-star and you're the best of the best, you go out with grace. Now, I'm guessing John Cena probably didn't have a problem doing this here. I think Vince McMahon would have never let John Cena turn heel. Like, if the opportunity was there. And I think John Cena even said in an interview, he's like, I don't know, if it was only the right time would happen, that I would let it turn heel. And he was ready to. That's the other thing I should make mention of. He said in interviews, he will be ready to turn heel. But it was always kind of just last minute change. This didn't happen here tonight. For whatever reason, John Cena was happy to go ahead and make this change. So if he's changing now, he has to change the gear. No thugonomics, none of that. We need Cena as a corporate suit. He needs to be The Rock's bitch, basically, because he's under The Rock's control. And we don't know what The Rock has over John Cena to even put this together. We have to look at that as well. But I don't know where you go from here and what you build. But I think for the sake of this storyline, if you're going to have this new corporation, I'm calling it that, these brothers in arms at the box office, okay? John Cena and The Rock have had their success in the box office. If you're going to go ahead and put these guys together, their connection is Hollywood. Their connection is they've both been in the movies. If we want to say The Rock was the one to help get John Cena into the movie business because The Rock came in first, okay, tell the story. Tell the story where John Cena came in, was able to get the movies going on, the Marine and all this other stuff going on, and then he just built himself into a big box office star. Fine. Give me that. But make it where The Rock is controlling the career. Because I think at the end of this, John Cena has to do the bidding of The Rock, but then something happens where it's almost like a mind control. The Rock is almost mind controlling John Cena. But then at the end of the retirement, when John Cena is about to retire, he does turn back around and takes back revenge on The Rock, and that's it. Which goes back to when they were talking, when they faced each other, 2011? You could do that. And I think you could go back to 2011 and say, hey, look, these guys were facing each other. They were both adversaries for 2 years. And then something happened with these two. Because that's really when the change was for John Cena, because he started going Hollywood and was going away more and more. And then all the changes went on with John Cena, where it's like, okay, he's off to a movie, he's off to a movie, he's off to a movie. And it's probably because of The Rock. The Rock paved the way. So you could tell that story. But then you want to do something where, as we know, there were stars that came into the space that, they were part of various things, right? I mean, the two names right now are synonymous with Hollywood, and they were the two that took that Hollywood pipeline I talked about years ago. The same thing could go here. Roman Reigns could be part of this as well, because he got touched in the pipeline. Remember, even The Rock said it in the package they put out tonight, that Roman Reigns, he got his cousin to go and work in Hollywood as well, in a Fast and Furious movie. You could bring all this up and then go forward and see what happens next, because then you could just start recruiting who will be the next Hollywood stars coming out of WWE, because you're just saying, okay, you have a chance to become a star, a bigger star than you ever have been here. You're going to get the Hollywood star. You're going to get the Hollywood treatment. All you need to do is give me your soul. So deal with the devil is basically what they're saying, which is kind of like what you're always signing when you go to Hollywood, right? Or for whatever kind of success. That setup works fine here, but let's build that up here. And let's create a more of a mystique where The Rock is just getting more diabolical, more devilish, and more sinister. We need more of that coming out of The Rock, too. This was a better promo tonight. That angle was set up tonight was great. I'll say that. It was very well done. I just didn't like to see a heel turn. But I will take this corporation storyline, build off of that. But we need a couple of players to come in here that could be also involved in this. I don't know who those people are. I mean, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre aren't doing anything right now. I mean, we still need to see what matches they're going to have. But they've also had their own dabblings in Hollywood. Drew McIntyre had a little bit of work in Hollywood last year. I forget what the name of the movie was. It was the one that I watched with Bill Skarsgård. I don't remember the name of the movie now. But it was like a really ridiculous movie of all these different people wanted to kill him. And Drew McIntyre was one of the guys. And then with Seth Rollins, he did the Captain America TV series, right? Or the movie, right? But he got cut out, but still, he was doing some work in there. You could do something like that. Becky Lynch, if she's coming back, you could put her into it too, because she also got a little bit of a Hollywood taste as well. All of them can be part of this. You could do something where you could build that up here and just make it where it's like, it's not the Billionaires Club. It's the Hollywood Club. It's the ones that got to go and do the studio work, got to work in the box office stuff, work on television, work on streaming, work in movies. They got that Hollywood taste. And they all made a deal with the devil, which in this case will be The Rock, the final boss. And you go from there. And they're recruiting only those stars they feel like they can be that level of stardom. And the same thing goes. Will they give the same answer as Cody? And then Cody can hold the alliance of other stars that go up against him. And then you just kind of build off of that. I mean, that kind of faction would work to me. I don't think there'll be a big deal about that. But I don't know now. I mean, Monday, we have to go and see what they're going to do off of this. How they're going to build off of this and how they're going to go from it. But I'll take the storyline. I'm ready to go ahead and see where this goes. I'm invested. We'll see what goes on more with it. There's a lot more to be said, but we got to wait on Monday and see where they come from it. But I like it. I mean, listen, I'm in. It's fine. I will say this too, Travis Scott, non-factor. I could care less about him about being in there anyway. Could care less. Now, John Cena did come out for the press conference, and he does get the microphone. So there's a clip that just came out from WWE. We'll just go and take this real quick. He's sitting down. He's in front of the microphone. Mic drop. And he walks away. That's all we got from it. Okay. So we put this together, and that's fine. Now we're already seeing the comparisons of John Cena's heel turn versus Hulk Hogan's heel turn. We don't know what the payoff is going to be for John Cena. This would have had much more effect if they would have done this maybe 8 years ago. When Cena was already getting turned on by the crowd. I feel like he got his mojo back in 2011, 2012, when he did take on The Rock. Because The Rock was such an asshole. And I think John Cena really did pull things back up. So, I felt like after that, when he was starting to go away and he started coming back, the absence makes the heart grow fonder part. That's where John Cena, obviously they started feeling more about him. There was a point where, okay, we're not going to crap on this guy anymore. We're not going to boo anymore. It was done. And, I agree with that. And also, he was always doing the right thing when it came to letting some other people get over. He let Solo Sikoa get over, right? He working with Grace with Austin Theory. It was just those kind of things where he was, doing the part, being the stand-up guy and being the guy who was helping to put other people over. And it was good about that. So you got that change. But the Hogan heel turn, it's the more dominant heel turn. That's the more popular heel turn. That's the more successful heel turn at this moment. It's because of when Hulk Hogan turned. And remember, we have to see what they're going to do with John Cena's heel turn, because he has to change out of the jorts, the colorful clothes. He's got to be something different. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'll say this too, that we've seen John Cena play bad guy. Again, in the Fast and Furious movies, he was at first a bad guy towards Vin Diesel's character, because this is his brother in the movie. So we got some of that already. And it's not as if we can't see that. So that's fine. We know that John Cena is more than capable of going and doing the heel turn here. Listen, an actor. Let's get the acting chops out there and really do something with it. But let's give these people a script to work with and some real good payoff towards the end. And some build-up that's going to be really good. But The Rock and John Cena is a formidable force. What the modus operandi is going to be, okay, well, John Cena's intent is to become 17-time world champion. That's the focus. And for The Rock, I mean, is it just more of a larger scheme for him to just to take control of the company as like almost like a corporate takeover? And he has all this control and nobody's stopping him from what he wants to change. Like, is he going to wield his authority and really start turning things out? Because I don't know that yet. And we want to find out what that's going to be. When it came to Hulk Hogan and the NWO, you gave us a different feel to it. Again, it was a groundbreaking storyline, and that's the other part that's going to be very important. With the NWO, I mean, they were there kind of neck and neck, Raw, Nitro, and the ratings at that point in '96. It was a little bit of a drop off for Nitro because they were struggling. Because again, John Cena, Hulk Hogan was not as popular. He was fading. His star was fading, and it was fading pretty quick. Because again, just putting him up against whichever heel of the month was not going to do. And you couldn't keep doing what WWF did and ran him to the ground in the first place. Therefore, you had to make a change. And therefore, Hogan's change was done at the best time possible. It was at the best time possible in his career because people were still cheering him. He was still a big main event star anyway. And of course, this creative control. But that's the part that was good. It was like, when you changed him, nobody threw crap in the crowd this time around, by the way. Remember this. When you had Hogan go out there, and the Mean Gene Okerlund right now, disgusted, he goes out there to talk to Hogan, and Hogan cuts a hell of a promo. One of his best. One of the most iconic promos of his career. And the crap being thrown in the ring, like so much trash from the Daytona Beach Ocean Center, ridiculous. And that crowd was hot. Now tonight, I got to go back and look again, but I don't know how much of a response the crowd gave afterwards. That's the part I didn't look at yet, to see how much people looked at when John Cena went out and tore things up. I don't know about that part, because the only thing I'm seeing so far is everybody wants to go and play the clip of the 15 seconds where he was on there. And that's the thing we got to think about too. Now, the crowd popped big for Cody saying, go F yourself. Fine. But here's what the crowd sounded like here at the end, just to see how much of a heel response they got in Toronto.
Displays that I've ever witnessed.
I don't care how fantastical your imagination is. There is not a soul on planet Earth who foresaw this.
Okay, nobody is doing the response right. John Cena just turned heel. What is Toronto doing here cheering? Why are they cheering here? The response should be, I don't care if it's the backwards crowd in Toronto like it always is. We should not be booing John Cena. We should be booing John Cena. Excuse me. On the contrary, John Cena should not be being cheered here with The Rock. That crowd was like kind of just amazed they got to see the heel turn, which tells me the juvenile delusional fan base, they were just happy to see the moment of the heel turn. They did not respond as the heel turn happened, where they should have responded with a shroud of boos. The boos should have lifted the lid off the Rogers Center. And they didn't do that. And that's the part I got really a bigger problem with. Like, Cody got pummeled here. Are you just not happy with Cody Rhodes being champion here going into another year? All right. But that's the part I don't understand. I don't understand that part. But comparisons are comparisons. When you look at what happened then and say what happened, like the crowd that went, I mean, maybe you just got to go and play Hogan and the NWO and, and just go with that and see what happens and just compare what happened. That's the best part of social media is I can go ahead and probably look this up right now and find it. But some people will go and try to say this is better than Bash at the Beach. Sure. Is it the biggest heel turn since Bash at the Beach? Yes. By the way, here is Hogan joining the NWO. We'll go and play the clip. Here we go.
What are you talking about? Whose side is he on? What are you talking about? Yes, sir! Get him, Hogan! Go get him, baby! Come on and get some of this now. Who's bad now, boys? Hulk Hogan arrived. Hook. What is he doing? Oh, my God! Is he the third man? He's the third man! What the hell is going on here? Hulk Hogan has betrayed WCW. He is the third man. Look at this picture. Oh, my God! What the hell is going on? Oh, my God! Are you kidding me? Probably the lowest shot ever given to professional wrestling. That man did right there, Hulk Hogan. Let's get everybody out of the dressing room right now and kick his rear end. Unbelievable, brother. You just sold your soul to the devil. These years? Huh? What have I been saying all these years? Oh my God. A career of a lifetime. It's right down the drain, kid. I hope you love it. Can you see just sold your soul to the devil. See those little Hulksters with the tears rolling down their face right now? We are not going to even acknowledge that 3 count. Now what happens to us? What happens now to WCW? There was no 3 count. I never thought I would say that he's yellow, but he may be wearing red, but he's wearing red and yellow. What do we do now? I'll tell you what. This is a unbelievable situation right here at Bash at the Beach. Hulkamania, the third guy with the outsiders, betrayed WCW. Can't talk. Well, I told you so. Enjoy it, my friend. You got to look yourself in the mirror. You got to stand up and look in the mirror. There you go. That's right. I never thought I'd see people throwing debris.
Now, that's the Bash at the Beach. That is the comparison we're going to have all the next few hours. Next 24 hours, next week, next year. We're all going to hear the comparison forever about Bash at the Beach, July 7th, 1996. When Hulk Hogan became the third man of the NWO. Now, we didn't have any kind of thought process that The Rock was going to have another henchman in his group. We didn't know that part. We didn't know if The Rock was going to do something himself. But John Cena happened to have Cody Rhodes in there, and because John Cena, did win the match legitimately for Elimination Chamber, he's in. The other part is, why would John Cena need to have The Rock go heel on Cody? That's the part I don't get. John Cena got the title shot. He didn't get it at Royal Rumble. It was just kind of a shock. He gets it at Elimination Chamber. Why did he have to go and turn heel? That's the other part I don't understand. It's confounding. We need an explanation of all this. We need an explanation, hopefully by tomorrow. It's going to be by Monday, where The Rock explains how John Cena became part with the final boss, how they became brothers in arms. I mean, not just the explanation of their connection, but how this all came about. We need to hear the explanation of that. And the other part is, we got to be able to hear from John Cena. Now, they might hold off on that. I'm guessing John Cena won't even say a word for a while as to why he did this. We got 6 weeks to see what they're going to do with it anyway. But maybe they'll have to change to him, because I'm guessing John Cena's not going to talk the same. He's not going to look the same. It's going to be something different. With that said, John Cena has to explain why Because at least with Gene Okerlund, he gets out there and we do get the story about what happened. And we do get to hear from Gene Okerlund about what happens here and why it all changed. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play back real quick the promo from Hulk Hogan when he did become the third man and after the match and when he started getting with the crowd. Let's go and play that real quick.
Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I got to say.
I have been with you for so many years. For you to join up with the likes of these two men absolutely makes me sick to my stomach. And I think that these people here and a lot of other people around the world have had just about enough of this man, and you want to put yourself in this group? You've got to be kidding me.
Well, the first thing you got to realize, brother, is this right here is the future of wrestling. You can call this the new world order of wrestling, brother. These two men right here came from a great big organization up north, and everybody was wondering who the third man was. Well, who knows more about that organization than me, brother?
I've been there, I've done that. You have made the wrong decision, in my opinion.
Well, let me tell you something. I made that organization a monster. I made people rich up there. I made the people that ran that organization rich up there, brother. And when it all came to pass, the name Hulk Hogan, the man Hulk Hogan, got bigger than the whole organization, brother. And then billionaire Ted, amigo, he wanted to talk turkey with Hulk Hogan. Well, billionaire Ted promised me movies, brother. Billionaire Ted promised me millions of dollars. And billionaire Ted promised me world caliber matches.
Now, I want everybody to go and pay attention to the fact that, you know what? If you want to go and replicate this storyline right here, where we're all getting the comparisons from, what Hulk Hogan said right there in that promo from Bash at the Beach. Because the promise of movies, big money, big matches, and more than, it was like billionaire Ted was the deal with the devil. It was kind of like that. And then it's from this organization. And the organization they also have is where it's John Cena wants to get a bigger thing for himself now, whatever it is. That's the thing. He was brought into the space to do this, and now The Rock is in control. The other thing we also have to think about is where Triple H is going to be in this. Is Triple H going to be the Eric Bischoff of this group? Because I imagine with this kind of a storyline with The Rock and with John Cena, Triple H has to be involved. Wouldn't you think? Because that's the other thing I think about too. And will Triple H become somewhat of an Eric Bischoff type? And he will turn heel with the other two and join lockstep with them. Because I don't see why not. If we're going to go this storyline, if the intent of the storyline is to don't take necessarily the whole idea of the faction of the NWO, but create it like this is what you can do with it. And then you take a couple of extra names probably that can be a part of this regularly that are of big stature. I mean, you've got to be two people that are going to be, they're going to be made people because of their attachment to The Rock and John Cena. Or you take some of the established stars you're already going to bring in, like it's either Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, and you just say, okay, these are the folks, or CM Punk, and you say, okay, these guys are coming in and they are minions underneath The Rock and the final boss and this final corporation here. But we got to assemble all that. We need to build all that up. But all of this is speculation. All of this speculation. Now, this overshadows everything going on right now with what happened tonight on the show. Because we did have matches. We had significant things. Bianca Belair, out of nowhere, we now see that she's no longer going to have any more tag team work going forward because First of all, everybody was thinking that Liv Morgan was going to get attacked by the returning Jade Cargill, who's finally turned heel. Great. Thank you. So Jade Cargill comes in out there like a boss. She comes in and tears up Naomi. Great angle there. So I guess what, Naomi and Jade Cargill are going to be part of this now? Is that's going to be the setup for a storyline for that? I guess. All right. I really don't know where we're going to go with it, but I mean, I'm all in for that. And Bianca Belair wins Elimination Chamber, and now she'll take on Rhea Ripley in a rematch from an NXT rivalry going back, 7, 8 years ago. Good. All right. You're going to bring that storyline. You're going to bring those two together and have a rivalry once again with them. Fine with me. I got no problem with that. I'm glad that Bianca Belair is back in this spot. I just hope that Bianca Belair wins the title again. It would be nice to see her win. It'll be a third time at WrestleMania. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wow. Third time at the title. That'd be crazy. But I'll be all in it. We talked about Kevin Owens. After he beats up on Sami Zayn, Randy Orton came out, and it looks like Randy and Kevin are going to be at each other. There's a storyline already built in for that, so that's fine. Works for me. And I guess Sami Zayn, does he get an injury? He's out of the whole mix? Because I don't want him coming back after this pummeling, and then he comes in here and interferes on this. No. Let's just leave it to Kevin and Randy, please. Leave the rest of this alone. Leave the rest of this alone, please. So those two matches are good. That's two good mid-card matches that in the WrestleMania card that are great. That's fine with me. We can get some good stories out of that. Let's just see if they do that. Trish and Tiffany over Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Why does Candice LeRae get a spot here? I don't know. I really just don't care. But that's all we had. That's the setup that we had for tonight were the 4 matches and that main event angle at the end, and that was it. So it's very noteworthy, very newsworthy. This Rock and John Cena storyline is absolutely WrestleMania caliber. So yes, Road to WrestleMania, yeah, we're in it now. It feels like it. Yes, Triple H. I think it was asking if people feel like it's the Road to WrestleMania now. We are. They got the interest. Let's see if it pops a rating tomorrow. Let's see if it pops a rating on SmackDown. We'll find out. But now we need to see John Cena regularly on Raw and SmackDown every week up until WrestleMania. I don't know how many dates he's supposed to have, but let's get to that point now and see, because we need that coming forward. And what they're going to possibly do to build for the next 6 weeks leading up to WrestleMania. We got a ride going on, but we're going to come back to that on Wednesday, and we'll talk all about it. But okay, I'm in. A little bit of excitement going on. Come back this Wednesday night when I do another Wrestling Through podcast, because wrestling needs us.